Hello there. Been a few weeks and thought I'd do a quick little progress video because I'm doing something a little bit differently than I usually do. Usually, if you've watched any of my other videos, you probably know I work on multiple projects at once. Uh, it's just the way my mind works. That's why if I get stuck on one, I move to another, and this way I'm always constantly working forward. However, since about the middle of August 20th, I believe it was, I've been focusing on one project and one project only. Excuse me. I've been working on one project only. A little background. In my fictional universe, I have immortals. Okay, immortals, vampires, werewolves, and just regular old immortals. And they've popped up at various points, sometimes under different names. One actually showed up with her same name the first time she showed up again, but that's not important yet. But I'd always had this idea of the last immortal, that one of them, far into the future, would suddenly find out that they're the last one, that there are no others. They can't find any of the other human immortals. And this character would be desperately trying to find them. So, and that idea has been bouncing around in my head for a while now, years actually. But for some reason, back on August 20th, I just popped into my head to start writing it because I had this scene in my mind, and I heard one of my immortal characters say, "What do you want out of me?" And then the scene formed in my head, and I just went from there. So, and I've been focusing on that since August 20th, and I'm making pretty good progress on it. Like I always do, I'm a discovery writer, so I know where it ends. I know the ultimate end of the story. I know the climax of the current plot line and where the story ends, because they're two different things. So I know where it's going. I just have to get there. So a little background. The immortal character in this, that the story is based on, it's a Mnemosyne is the title of the story. It's the ancient Greek goddess of memory. It's also the name of my character's starship. But the character is Lisa Stennis. Lisa first made her appearance in the story All My Yesterdays Remembered in Campfire Stories. And she also was in Raven. Now, how far in the future did I want to go with this? So, and Lisa being the immortal character, my next thought was, how far in the future did I want to go with this? Well, since I'm currently reading through the Dune trilogy, I was thinking about that time period. So actually, the story takes place not in 10,191 like Dune. It actually takes place 12,659. That's the year when Lisa is a spry 10,691 years old. And it's been millennia, it's been ages since immortals have had to hide themselves. So she doesn't make a secret that she's immortal. In fact, she's known as the last immortal and the oldest living human. And part of me started thinking, what if there was, fanboys and fangirls that kind of idolize or worship her. And so that's where the story started off on, where she's come to this planet. She's searching for something. I'll get to that in a minute. And so she's just sitting in a bar. She's just trying to have a drink. She just landed. Hasn't even found a place to stay yet. Looking for something to eat. And this guy is just pestering her. And it just grew from there. The reason she's known as the last immortal, 1,000 years before the story starts, all the immortals, all the human immortals at least, disappeared. To her, it happened in one day. A character later on says it actually took a few days, but all the immortals were gone except for her. And she has spent 1,000 years trying to find them and trying to figure out why they abandoned her. You know, she jokes it's like she missed an email, and that's what brings her. So she's been traveling from planet to planet, following rumors about especially long-lived people, and people not dying. And she's been disappointed every single time. And she has arrived at the last place on her list. She's arrived at the last place on her list, and she's heard rumors that there is a town of people with exceptionally long lives. And she keeps asking people around the town, hey, this town up in the village, what the people who live longer is longer by decades or longer by centuries, and no one can tell her because the town is very secretive. And she's thinking that it might be them, might be at least some of the immortals, because they might have gone back to their old ways of hiding. I'll get to why they would be hiding in just a moment. And so she's trying to find them, and hijinks ensue. One of the things that's speculated as to why the immortals went into hiding was the fact that the Empire, which rules the galaxy at that time, wanted to try and find the root cause of immortality, which is something the immortals themselves have never found out. They've never figured out why they're immortal, how they got to be immortal, who gets to be immortal. They don't know. They never figured it out. So, to keep the Empire from essentially grabbing them and experimenting on them, they took off. But they missed somebody. They missed Lisa, and she's upset about that. Now, like I said, I've been focusing on this. I have it right here, and I'm focusing on it, and I'm making pretty good progress on it. There, she's about to head out on an expedition to the town. There's going to be some action in the middle of it. Lisa's going to be forced to kill herself in order to save some other people. Of course, Lisa killing herself is, she comes back after a couple hours, because what I have in mind is her on this caravan that's going up this narrow mountain pass, and they're being attacked by raiders. And she reasons that they're too slow, they're too heavy. If they would just lighten the load a little bit, they could go a little faster, and they might be able to outpace the raiders. And the traders don't want to throw off any of their merchandise. That's their livelihood. And she's not sensing any other immortals, so no one else can do it. I'll get to that in a minute too. And so she decides, okay, I'm going to make the noble sacrifice. And she tells the character that's working with her, he's upset about this. I mean, he knows that she's immortal, but he doesn't. He still doesn't want her to do it. And she says, the only thing she says, the last word she says to him is "find me," and she jumps out of the train. And it'd be interesting. It would be interesting to watch from her point of view if this was ever filmed. Watching the as she falls away from the train, and a little thought in the back of her mind is, I wonder how long this is going to take. Wham! Not long at all. Dead. Then, since I'm sticking solely with Lisa's point of view, she wakes up, but not where she expects to wake up. She has an encounter earlier in the story with some people from with a couple agents from Imperial Security, And basically they say, look, we don't, we're not, we want to make sure that the immortals are not, off somewhere planning, planning some kind of coup, which is the current fear. Not really a fear, but it is a something that they're keeping an eye on, because what they're afraid of is an immortal or a group of immortals overthrowing the government, installing themselves as rulers for eternity. To which Lisa tells them, even the most corrupt of us wouldn't do that, because we'd be bored after a couple centuries, or maybe even a couple of decades. It'd get boring for them. And so yeah, so that's where we are right now. I'm got a little stuck on this sequence, on the scene that I'm in right now. We're as I said, I'm about to head her off into the mountains. The one thing that I do have some trouble doing is the planet that she's on. It's kind of a tightrope that I'm walking, because I'm trying to show them as not a sophisticated people, but they're not primitive. They know technology, they're aware of technology, they use technology, but some of the older characters, for example, have very simple speech patterns. Like there's a bartender, the bartender owner of the tavern that she's in, where she's confronted by this fanboy, who goes on to help her. That transitions in the story. I go through it. He tells her, "Hey, you stop bothering my patients. You leave now." It's a simple. What I'm trying for is a simple speech pattern, just indicating that he has a simple speech pattern. He is an intelligent man. He's a business owner. He's running a business. His family runs multiple businesses, and that's what I'm shooting for. It's just they're unsophisticated. They're not primitive. Okay, they're not. Ooh, what is that magic chariot you flew in on? It's like, nice starship. So, and that's where I am for now. Just rolling right along on this. Some days are a little better than others, but I'm rolling right along. I'm transition over to a slightly different topic. I'm feeling a little better. I've got some new hemp oil gummies that I'm taking, and so far they've been working. I mean, yesterday was not a bad day at work. Of course, I called out today, so take of that what you will. But yeah, that's about where we are. Me and my fountain pens. Oh, that's the other thing. I have 22 fountain pens. I have 12 packs, 12 pen cases, and the two empty slots in the second case are beckoning to me. They want something to be inside them, but I don't want to buy another fountain pen just to buy another fountain pen. I mean, there are inks that I want, but I'm trying to hold off on them, because there's not really a pen right now that I'm looking at that I really want. I mean, that's not true. There is a pen that I really want. Unfortunately, it's $700, and yeah, no. But if anybody's interested, Viscani Homo sapiens Bronze Age fine point, fine nib, excuse me. Just throwing it out there. So yeah, that's about it for now, guys. I'm sorry I have so long between videos. It's just sometimes I have trouble working up ambition, the drive to do these videos, and other times this is one of the reasons why I don't journal too much. I have a journal over there that I started. I haven't made an entry in about a week now, and over a week now, because every time I sit down to do something else, there's a voice in the back of my head saying, "Shouldn't you be writing right now?" It even happens when I'm at work. So it's so. I'm trying for some kind of regularity. I promise I am. It's just I'm trying to carve out the time. So that's it for now. Title is Mnemosyne. Mnemosyne. I keep wanting to say Mnemosyne. It's Mnemosyne. At least every place that I've ever heard it pronounced, it's Mnemosyne, I think. Hang on. Okay, how do you pronounce that?
Mnemosyne.
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 Mnemosyne. Okay. Or I've also heard it. Well, hold on, because I've also heard it as Mnemosyne. Mnemosyne.
Mnemosyne.
Yeah. Mnemosyne. Mnemosyne. I have to keep reminding myself how to pronounce it. So anyway, that's it for now, guys. Links to the books are down below. Social media is down there also. If anybody has any questions, just let me know. If you do buy one of the books, please just make sure that you leave a review. It'd be greatly appreciated, good, bad, or indifferent. And thanks. And remember, we are each of us the heroes of our own stories and the villain of someone else's. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.